Hey, this is Lux Fortuna. This is my review of TCG Esports Weekly Tournament number 1. I'm doing a review analysis of my performance in this tournament. I ended up making it to the grand finals. Alright, so the first deck I'm using is my standard Daria Tempa Rune. I've made a tutorial video on it. I'll link the deck list below. I'm mostly reviewing this video for my own purposes to look at mistakes I made in the tournament, and I do misplay sometimes. I've got a decent opening hand here with Insight, Magic Missiles. Yeah, I'm just gonna open with Insight. No reason not to with a Daria in hand, especially versus Forestcraft. I kept the Magic Missiles because they play a lot of 1-drops. He's obviously like Roachcraft, like 99% of all Forestcraft players these days. He apparently doesn't have a great opening hand. So I think I opt for the Emmy here. Yeah, I was thinking about milling or cycling through my deck, but I think Emmy's better because Emmy can trade nicely into a lot of their drops. I do open myself up to like a Sylvan Justice, so maybe it wasn't the best play, but I kind of want to hold on to 2 Magic Missiles. Yeah, see, there's Sylvan. So it makes my turn 3 kind of awkward. I could play Levi. No, now he gives me a much better option for turn 3 because I want to avoid like Ancient Elf. So I could like bounce it, but I think bouncing a fairy is kind of silly when I can just nuke it right there. And it gives me a card draw. Well, I guess a Kaleidoscope would have given me one as well. So now turn 4. Well, let's see what he plays turn 4. It's been a day since the tournament, so I can't really recall what happened in the earlier games. So the 2 decks I am. So okay, so he's Goblin Mage. He's got 1 roach in hand. Bounces it. He's gonna have 2 roaches. And this is good for him. That was decent of him because now I don't have a board to evolve Levi into. So now I'm just gonna like mill through my deck because otherwise it's a wasted turn. I don't really want to play Conjure Golem, but I do because it spelled these 3 cards in my hand. And I'm in actually a pretty good spot. For turn 5, he hasn't shipped much at all, period. And yeah, I play into his Fortune Hunter Fina. So that's his 3rd roach. He's got 3 roaches and a 0-drop. Let's see. I think the correct play is Clark here. And I think Levi, because it would be a waste not to play Levi and Ogler. Levi for his evolution effect. It'll clear the Fortune Hunter Fina. I don't want to take that 5 to face. And then it gives me a sizable board that he has to deal with. I mean, it gives him a couple targets to evolve into, which is not great for me, but with a 3-mana Daria, it's going to be 0 mana extremely quickly, probably next turn. I'm in a good spot. I don't know how I feel about that play necessarily. I guess it's okay. Will of the Forest, especially if like I had bricked, that would have been horrible if that was as much development as I had, and I only had 4 cards left. I think the best play is Blade Mage and Daria. Well, I guess Emmy's not bad in case he has another Will of the Forest, especially since he spent his entire last turn doing that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to evolve the Blade Mage in this situation. I mean, I have 1 Levi in hand, but I also have 1 Evo point in hand, and I want to put as much early pressure as possible. The sooner you can get Roach to start trading into you, especially if they have to trade roaches into you, it's pretty much game over for them. I think I may run into a little bit of trouble. I think this guy might be running Tia, but we'll see. So the other deck I'm running is the Control Sword. I'll also link the Control Sword in the deck list. Now this tournament format is single elimination. Yeah, he had a horrible evolution turn. Well, what's he doing? Why is he evolving now? Because he hasn't played other meaningful things yet. I think he's trying to set up for turn 8 lethal. I mean, he's got 3 roaches in hand, so turn 8 is extremely dangerous for me. But I think, see, this is where I force him to trade. Like, he has to trade. Because, yeah, if he doesn't trade, 5, 9. So I've got 9 on board, 10 with snipe, 13 with Levi. Yeah, so that's just lethal on board. Unfortunately, I think the better option for him would be to have traded the entire board, the 5 attack roach into Daria, the 4 attack roach into my blade mage, and the goblin mage into the 4/4 goblin mage into my 2/2 Emmy. But he didn't, so it's just over. Oh, I think I was 1 off of lethal. I'm sorry, I miscounted. Yeah, I think I had 5, 6, 7. Plus 3, plus 1. Yeah, I was 1 off lethal. For some reason, in my head, I just thought I evolved Levi and the 2/2, but that's not a thing. But at this point, he's got 1 roach, so I mean, it's not like yeah, I mean, 1 roach is not going to do 9 damage from hand without an evo. Not on turn 8. He'd have to play 9 cards or 8 cards. Yeah, he can't play 8 cards unless he's got like Silver Wolf Homecoming shenanigans. But obviously, you can't do that in this turn. It's just over. I mean, he's got 1 roach. But yeah, this is a single elimination tournament Conquest format, so you have to win with both your decks. So it's possible to like lose a game. So he could lose it. So he's going to lose his game, but it's still possible for him to beat me because if he proceeds to beat me 2 times in a row now, he'll progress. All right, and since I won with my Daria deck, I have to now switch to my sword deck. I feel pretty comfortable in this matchup. Control sword versus Roachcraft. I run a lot of wards. I only kept Floral Fencer only because it's a turn 4 evolution, and I go second, so I get to play it on curve. And I think having a heavy board against Roachcraft is extremely important because from turn 4 I'll build a strong board, and then the plan is to get like a heavy ward like Aurelia out on turn 5. And if I have Aurelia out on turn 5 with a heavy board, it's pretty much game over. Yeah, I mean, he gives me a good board to use Whole Soul Swing. Turn 3, I think I have Blitz Lancer in hand, 2 of them, so I think I may just rush one of those out. It's going to get a double. It'll be a 2 for 1. Now, it might seem silly to go after all these 1-drops, but if you don't get these 1-drops early on, if they have a an Ancient Elf in hand, it's absolutely devastating. Okay, now see, my plan's already working out. I've got a turn 4 Floral Fencer, turn 5 Aurelia. Almost gonna... I don't think there's anything better I want to play on turn 5, unless, like, maybe he's got 2 drops out. I mean, maybe he's got 2 low drops out, and I just want to wait for her spell immunity for when I have 3, but we'll see. Yeah, see, this is a perfect board to turn 4 Floral Fencer. Because he's got 3 cards in hand. I'm not going to activate his fairy. I mean, his last words on Water Fairy, so yeah, I don't care if he trades that into me either. So even if he does have something like Ancient Elf, he's lacking a lot of the resources to reap the benefits from it. Okay, that's an okay play by him, but he doesn't have any roaches in hand that I know of. So he's super far behind at this point. And if he plays one of those fairies, it's like the worst thing he could do right now. Obviously, as Roach, you don't want to play the 0-cost fairies unless you're like ridiculously desperate, or using it for the Roach combo. So I'm looking at a turn 5 Aurelia, probably a turn 6 double blitz Lancer, and a turn 7 like front guard. Like he's gonna be really hurting in this matchup. That's why I like the control sword in these tournaments. Some people say it doesn't perform well on the ladder. I don't ladder with it. I ladder with Daria, but I like control sword in Daria matchups. It's not the worst. So I didn't get the 3 immunity, so I'm gonna knock out that Elven Princess, so he can't trade it into me. Same with the Water Fairy. I want to make my Aurelia as annoying to kill as possible, make him blow Evo points. No, I had to get rid of the Elven Princess because maybe he has a Sylvan Justice and does 2, and then he can trade into my Aurelia without having to evolve. At this point, I really want him to blow his evolutions, and if he doesn't answer this Aurelia, it's just going to get much worse. Like turn 5, I'm just going to summon another Aurelia. But yeah, Control Sword does particularly well against roaches, and it doesn't do bad against Daria, especially if they only have an okay hand or they brick. Like it just demolishes them. The huge thing is building heavy wards, and it actually is pretty okay against D-Shift as well. Yeah, he's desperate here. He's got to blow a roach to kill that. And to my knowledge, he only has 1 roach in hand. And this is going to make my Aurelia ridiculously hard to kill because now he's got to evolve into it. And I still have 1 Evo point. Now, double Blitz Lancer wouldn't have been bad because I wouldn't have had to blow an Evo point. And it would knock him down to 2 fairies on field. But I really wanted to take advantage of the spell immunity. And who knows, maybe he's got like a ancient elf in hand that maybe he's got roach shenanigans and ancient elf in hand. So I play it safe, go with the Aurelia, force him to actually trade a minion into it. Odin is very lackluster in this matchup. Maybe he's only useful if they have like a Tia and she's being like super frustrating, or they have a heavy ancient elf. Typically he's a dead card though. But the good thing is usually the game's over for better or for worse before he's playable. Now this is just going to be this is a particularly slow game so far because I'm just grinding him out. Like he's blown 2 roaches. Yeah, he's blown 2 roaches having to deal with this. And remember, this is his last game. If he loses this, he's out of the entire tournament. It's always painful when you have to blow a roach in your last evolution to just clear 1 ward. I'm pretty sure he sees my front guard and just quits. I could be wrong though. I don't feel the need to evolve it. For one, I'm coming on a T9 Albert, and Albert benefits the most from an evolution. But I don't know. Maybe somebody would have evolved it. Plus, if I evolve it, I open myself up to like Dance of Death as a wasted evolution. Or Will of the Forest, but Will's much less of an issue when he's got 3 cards in hand. So I'm pretty sure he sees turn 8 front guard again, and he just says screw it and quits. Because it's over. I mean, there's nothing he can do. I've completely outgrinded his deck. I don't blame him for playing this long though, because I don't blame him for playing this long though. I mean, it's his last game. He loses this and he's done. So I was trying to see what the enhance effect was, because I don't see Selwyn every day. I guess he doesn't quit when he sees turn turn 7, turn 8 double front guard. But I'm positive he quits when he sees turn 9 Alver evolved. Or maybe I just Odin here. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing to Odin. Alright, so that was game 1. I actually got a bye in the first round, so this is technically round 2. But I'm only counting it for games I've actually, for opponents I actually played. So 2 are there. Now game 2, this guy is running. Cake Key. I forget what he runs. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of Roaches and Darias, but we'll see. Oh, okay, so we got a Havencraft player here. I don't recall finding any Seraph Havens, so we'll see how this goes. I really don't like this opening hand. I keep Insight, regrettably. I'm not a huge fan of keeping Insight on the mulligan, unless you have a Daria in hand already. Especially if you're lacking cards to spell boost. This is a horrible hand. I'm not spell boosting anything. This hand is gonna quickly burn out. I play Conjure Golem. It doesn't help Ogler, doesn't help Blade Mage, doesn't help Emmy, definitely doesn't help Daria. Ridiculously bad hand. I'm struggling here, especially with Clark's in the hand. Because what's gonna happen is I'm gonna blow all these cards by turn 5, and great. Now I have to trade one of my very few cards I can play into I have to trade it into Unico. There's no point not to. Maybe he's got Banish, and then it just goes downhill from there. I mean, I get an Ogler, but I'm still burning out. Like, this is really bad. I don't have cycle cards. I don't have, I mean, I keep mentioning I don't have Daria, but it's a huge setback, but I don't even have cards to, like, look for Daria by cycling through my deck. Oh, and great. Now great. My saving grace Daria. And I just, only now do I realize he's, Stormcraft. He's gonna try and rush me down. So it is ridiculously important that I drew Daria at that point in time. Super light, but extremely important. And I played right into his Priest of the Cudgel. I was sort of banking on him not having it. And on second thought, I think playing Clark and not playing Ogler was the better play, because I didn't have anything to evolve to lower the cost of Piercing Rune, but it ends up not mattering. I can just Piercing Rune him to death. So 2 Darias in hand, not great, but I can't see what my Daria cost. Was it 5? I Piercing Rune, or I clear the 1-drop or the Falcon, because I can play it and Daria. The reason I evolve Ogler instead of Daria is because I want to spread stats out in case he evolves something and trades into it. I guess I play into Banish. And of course, like, Themis is a thing, but Stormcraft usually doesn't run many Themises. I don't know, maybe they do. Maybe they've teched in 3 post Daria Cancer. I sort of play into his Priest of the Cudgel, but I mean, I don't know. Would I have played into it if I had evolved Daria instead? Can't remember what they traded into. Maybe Dance of... Well, yeah, I think Dance of Death is the play here. I just wanted to... You always want to cycle before you Dance of Death, and I think evolving is good here too. Sure, I haven't evolved a Levi, but I mean, I'm putting on ridiculous amounts of pressure. So I have 2 damage from Blade Mage and 2 from Piercing Rune, so I've got 4 damage I can just unleash from hand And he doesn't run wards, so as I say it, he puts down a fucking ward, of course. Okay, so he does run wards, and I think regrettably good thing I draw Daria. I regrettably have to ram my Blade Mage and Piercing Rune into the into one of the wards, and I just eat the other ward with Daria. Now the reason I'm being like so aggressive here is because he's got 2 cards in hand, so I know he's like hurting for plays. Now of course he hasn't used any Garudas yet, so Garuda is definitely a thing. But I'm pretty confident at this point. I've got a 5-mana Daria with 4 mana to spare. Yeah, that's kind of painful-ish. Could have been worse, though. So now I've got 2 damage on board, and yeah, I've got 2 damage on board. Now I have 3 with magic missiles, so I just need to draw into 2 damage. So a couple snipes or a blade mage would be lethal here. Boom, couple snipes. All right, now this is game 1 against Cake Key. So this is, I guess technically this is game 2, round 1. Now we're about to get into game 2, round 2. Technically round 3 of the tournament because I got to buy round 1. All right. So he opts to stay on his Haven Craft. He does have the option of switching his decks if he chooses to, but he still has to win with both. Again, I keep turn 4 Floral Fencer, and I'm like, I won't need Healing Angel on turn 3 because he's not going to be like hyper aggressive on turn 3. So I opt to keep Blitz Lancer to clear whatever he summons turn 2. So I don't have the best hand. Maybe I draw into something. Yeah, he drew Sacred Plea turn 1. Really good for him. Yeah, I don't have any turn 2 plays. Yeah, he's on a fucking roll here. Yeah, he's got a turn 1 play, turn 2 play. I don't even have a turn 2 play. And I'm going second. And he's a rushdown class, so he's going to be burning me so hard in this matchup. This is why I kept Blitz Lancer, because turn 3, I would play Healing Angel, and it would do nothing here. It'd be wasted, and I couldn't even clear the board. Blitz Lancer, boom, I get immediate board control. Or at least damage mitigation. I'm still in a bad spot. He's got complete board control, but I have turn 4 Floral Fencer, but that's not going to be great if he doesn't play anything that I can attack into. Fortunately, he does. So maybe he drops like 2 more like Beast Call Arias. That would have been horrible because I don't want to go out there and Floral Fencer Evo and waste a rush and just let him either clear me or get free shots on face. It's also really good that I drew a Cyclone Blade because Floral Fencer is going to give me so many targets for that Cyclone Blade. He's not going to be clearing my board, so he leaves one thing alive and I can Cyclone Blade clear. Usually just by evolving whatever's on board. So turn 5, that's pretty bad for me. He's going to knock out my Floral Fencer and my 2-drop and probably my 1-drop. So I think this is an error here. I think he trades the Priest into the 1/1 and the 2/1 into the 2/2. Or he goes face with it. Yeah. Okay, so it's not as bad as it could be. That's probably actually the better play he could have done. Turn 5, I think I have Aurelia. Yeah, this is like a... Well, I don't know. Aurelia dives to the board pretty easily. Like, she trades into the 4/4 and the... She trades into the 2/4s. so he doesn't have the blown evolution to kill it. Yeah, I think this is the better play. Evolve and Cyclone Blade clears the board, and I go face. I'm positive that was the better play, and I'm glad I identified it. It's so tempting to play Aurelio when there's 3 minions on board, but a full board clear and going face for 4 is pretty good. Now he's putting on the pressure pretty hard. But I mean, yeah, see, this isn't even a good board to Aurelio. I think Alwita and trading into the 6/2 is better here. I'm trying to burn him out. I mean, he's putting a lot of early game pressure, but yeah, he's putting a lot of early game pressure, but he's running out of cards. I mean, he's got 4 in hand. He's gonna have 5, and I do as well. But my cards are higher value. He's gonna have a lot of like Beast Call Arias or Sacred Pleas or 2-drops. Whereas mine are going to get exponentially better when I can start playing front guard general. That's extremely painful. So now I'm really in a really bad position here. I think I have to. Gosh, I don't know. Yeah, I think Aurelia is better because it doesn't die to Dance of Death. Now I opt to evolve the Veteran Lancer because it's going to make trades a lot more awkward for him when Veteran Lancer has 1 health. So now he's going to trade. He basically has to trade his board away just to clear my board. And I've got a lot more wards coming up. So, yeah, he can't evolve, so he literally has to trade board into it. And I doubt he has another Valhalla in general lying around. Yes, the reason I evolved Veteran Lancer was because I knew that evolution would force him. If I evolved the Aurelia, he would have survived. One of those minions would have survived, so I opted for the full board clear. Turn 8. Yeah, I have to play front guard. I realize he's going to heal. And his board trades into my first form. So I'm really praying he doesn't have like a another Garuda here, because that's going to be super painful for me. In turn 9, I think I'm looking at another front guard. But of course, you always want a made leader before you front guard. You always do card draw before you do your final play. Oh yeah, that was painful. The Luxwing Reno with the clash effect, 1 damage to face. So now I'm ridiculously close to death. And he's got a Garuda, so I'm struggling. I'm like at 1 health here. Now, no, this is the second game for me. Like, if I win this, I win. Yeah, this is really bad. But the end is in sight. Remember, I'm burning out his hand. I just finished burning out his hand. He's got no cards in hand. He's got 1 card to play next turn. So now I'm going to outvalue him if I can survive. All he needs is 1 damage. He needs a Luxwing Reno, or he needs a Luxwing Reno, or he needs. So I'm debating trading, and the only reason I trade is because I can do it more efficiently than if I let him trade. Otherwise, he'd trade like he would trade a 4. He would trade the dog, the 4/4 and the 2-drop into my 5/6. But now I'm forcing him to trade a little bit more awkwardly or a little bit more slowly, because now he couldn't clear my 5/6 on this turn. Otherwise, he could have cleared both. I think Olivia is definitely the play here. Albert is okay-ish as well. Yeah, I really want Olivia here. I'm taking my time because I'm trying to think of what happens if he's got a Garuda or something, but I die if he has a Garuda, regardless. It's not like my... Yeah, that's the thing. My Garuda, if he has Garuda, I die, period. Doesn't matter if I have Unicorn Princess. So I trade the 2-drop into the Tiger because I figure the sooner I can get Eris down to within lethal range, the better. So I could keep Unica alive, but this sets me up for next turn lethal with Albert Evolve, 10 damage to face. And if he has Garuda, he has Garuda and I die, period. So there's no point in keeping the Unica. Because I plan to end it next turn. But I win regardless. This is another 2-0. Alright, now we're going to move on to game 3, which is technically round 4 of the tournament. Fighting Crumpsion. These are the quarterfinals. Again, single elimination, so you lose, you're out. Alright, so we have my Daria. I open every match with my Daria except for like the grand finals. Horrible hand. Really bad hand. Not what I want to be looking at turn 1. This is like worse than my other hand last game. Super bad hand. And then I'm like, great. He's aggro Swordcraft. The only time you see quick bladers anymore is when they're aggro. The reason I opt for Conjure Golem is because I want to develop the board to address whatever he plays next turn. And Angelic Snipe is currently off curve. There we go. See, I get more value out of Angelic Snipe now. Because I obviously use it. And perfect. Her timing couldn't be any better. And it's one of the best plays it could be on turn 3. Clears the whole board. I get a lot of value out of my Golem. And Daria gets boosted. Oh, and Magic Missile. I think Magic Missile's too good. Yeah, Magic Missile's too good here to pass up. Even though I've got Clark on turn 3, Magic Missiles is much better. Luckily, I draw into Conjure Golem. Daria gets boosted, and I'm the aggro player now as he's struggling to find answers. If he doesn't clear my whole board, I have an Evolution to face and a Piercing Rune. That's going to take him down to 10 health if he leaves one thing alive. He leaves 2, so he's going to get down to 8. Pretty sure the correct play is to evolve a Golem. And honestly, at this point, I can just go pure face. And I think if I can play Daria here, I want a massive board. Aggro Sword does not run Cyclone Blades, so the beefier I can make this board, the better. This is probably going to be a concede right here, because there's no way he can answer this board. I mean, he could trade the... Yeah, that doesn't do anything at all. I mean, you traded the 2-5. You get rid of my 5-5, my 4-4, but then I have 2-4-6, evolve, 8. I've got 8 on board. It's over. As Daria, one of my primary goals is to make them do the trading into me. Because once they start trading into me, they're not playing. They're trying to play a value game, and I'm going face. Was it Forcecraft? Veteran, the answer is really good. Amelia is like okay, And I don't want to turn 4 Amelia and turn 4 Floral Fencer, so I opt to get rid of the Floral for the extra ward. Particularly because I can't evolve on turn 4, so I can't evolve Floral Fencer turn 4. I have to play her off curve and evolve her turn 5 or maybe turn 6. Amelia, at least I can play her on curve and possibly get a ward. Again, I mean, I opened myself up to Sylvan Justice, but I mean, I have to play something, and I opened myself up to Sylvan Justice regardless, so. Maid Leader, maybe get another Aurelia. Front guard's good too. Again, not looking great for me, but he's slow to develop as well. Now I have to kill this because, for one, it's got a fanfare effect, so if he bounces it back with Ancient Elf, he can play the effect again and get more fairies, set up more combos. And two, because of Ancient Elf, I don't want Ancient Elf getting boosted. Now he can evolve this turn. He evolves cleanly into Aurelia if he's got Elven or Fortune Hunter. Turn 5. I don't know if I want to blow a. I don't know if I want to blow my Aurelia in this situation. I think I'm not trying to rush him down, so I think playing Albert and just walking him into the Phenom. Yeah, I think Albert into the Elven Princess is the better play. I mean, it gives him. I mean, he can trade the fairy cleanly into it, but I don't think that's a big deal. And it gives me. Saves my Aurelia, and it gives me a turn 6. Saves my Aurelia without blowing an evolution. And it gives me turn 6 Alwitas. And I also have 2 Alwitas in hand, which is great. Maybe we're seeing. Oh, Tia, this is going to be painful. I'm going to struggle in this match because he's going to get a lot of value out of Tia here. And Alwitas isn't great. Yeah, Alwitas is actually the wrong play for this type of situation. So I don't have any good answers. The best answer, yeah, would be an off-curve Aurelia. It's going to be really bad because 2 fairies trade into that ridiculously easy. And if he finds a way to bounce that Tia, I'm so screwed for now. But the good news is I can play turn 7 front guard. That's frustrating to deal with. Oh, yep, and he bounces Tia, of course. Evolving front guard and training that is not bad. Yeah, that's the best play. Gives me awards. He can't do any turn 7 roach shenanigans. And the fairy can't clear it on his own, so he has to blow an evolution or blow a roach to kill this 7/2. Or Sylvan Justice, of course. Well, that's his third Sylvan Justice. Sylvan Justice this game, so he can't play anymore. The good thing is, even though he's been playing Tia, I still have a decent sized hand. And I have a lot of high value cards. A couple Alwitas, Cyclone Blade, a Floral Fencer. Although that's not going to be useful unless I get Alright, so this is a really bad situation. Except that he leaves Roach on the field. So Alwitas trades into it. And Unicorn Dancer is a pseudo ward. If he doesn't have lethal next turn, he has to kill. Oh, okay. So I opt for the Cyclone Blade. I kind of like that better because it stops bouncing shenanigans. It doesn't give me a ward, however. I'm praying he doesn't have turn 8 lethal to do 12 damage. It's a risk, but I think it was better than leaving him with a board. I think we're going to see another Tia here. Again, really bad. I don't think I have any choice. I have to, the only way I clear Tia, or at least clear the 6 attack, is to evolve Olivia and just pray he can't do 9 damage from hand. I think super risky playing Olivia. That literally my only play there, though. And it's my only hope at getting back in this game. Now, he hasn't played many Goblin Mages, so I don't know how many roaches he has in hand. I know he used one, which is dead. Alright, so turn 10, I can do a lot of things. I think Whole Soul. I think Whole Soul is good. I don't have any commanders that Gelt can turn into a yeah, so I can't play Gelt because he's not going to turn into a ward, and I need him to be a ward. Yeah, so this is my only hope at victory. Efficiently trading, leaving a lot of 1 HPs. Sure, they open themselves up to Elfchild and May, but a 4-1 is super hard to deal with if he misses. Oh, and that's super painful. The good thing is I have another ward in hand with Alwitas. Yeah, that clears my board. And he's got a beefy hand, so he's got a lot of options he can play. If he plays Roach, I'm going to be so angry. Although Roach should be kind of good because he can't bounce it back. He doesn't play Roach. Yeah, and then Floral Evolve. Yep. Best play you could do here. Get a double. Hoping he doesn't have anything like Pixie Mischief, which would just completely wreck me. If it landed right. Or Homecoming. I've seen some people running Homecoming lately. Oh god, there it is. But he doesn't accomplish much out of it since it's not a 0 drop. They usually run Homecoming with White Wolf. But now I can just literally put my board back out there next turn, and I'm pretty sure that's what happens. I don't get a good draw here. I get Floral, but like, what's the point? I don't have an evolution, so I just literally put my board out there before. It actually was slightly better because a couple of my people had 1 health, so they basically got a free heal because the people who can attack have 3 attack, and so he's back at square 1. That was sort of a do-nothing play if he's not going to play a Roach. Shirt bought him 1 turn, so he gets 1 extra card, but besides that 1 card, he's literally in the same position he was the turn before. Now, the only reason I was able to snag this board control was because of Olivia. Giving me those 3 extra evolution points. Sort of like a second wind. That Tia is just giving me such a hard time. Thank God I draw Albert here. Pretty sure Albert is, yeah, Albert's my only recourse. The only reason I hesitate to play Albert is because I was considering playing Albert as a 5 mana to get the buff from Jelt. But I opt for the better play, which is not sacrificing Albert. So yeah, I'm just really banking he doesn't have the combo to do 7 damage. I think it's over at this point. I mean, I think this is where I finally pick up on the idea that he's just general like tempo forest instead of that's painful. Top deck Odin. But at least I get the Jelt value. Healing Angel. Floral Fencer. I think I trade my Albert into it. I'm trying to play around Will of the Forest, which will just clear my board, period. Maybe it was better to hold on to him because he's got 7 health. He had 5 health at the time. Yeah, so this is where I realize he's like got White Wolf shenanigans. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's over for me at this point. He's pretty much burned out my hand. Sure, I can play front guard, but he's going to get. Pretty sure he's going to get like a 0 mana. He's just going to trade the White Wolf and get a 0 mana Homecoming and then wreck me with Roach. I'm pretty sure. Oh, Silverbolt, of course. Yeah. All right, so now it's tied up 1-1. So we're going into our tiebreaker match. It's a best of 3 series. This is actually kind of tough, I'm pretty sure. I have to beat his aggro. This is the guy running aggro sword, and I'm control sword. Yeah, this is really fucking bad. I have to drop Aurelia because he's running a deck that kills you by turn 5, and I literally draw the 2 cards I just mulliganed. Oh my god, I was so triggered because I was like, this is how it ends. This is how I get kicked out of the tournament because I don't get a freaking yeah. And then of course this guy's on curve. I was like, I was so triggered. The only saving grace was made later. The only reason I had even a slight chance of victory was because I drew turn 2 made leader. Of course, I don't get any of my Unicos. I'm running 3, or I don't get any veteran lancers. I'm running 3. Like, I don't get any decent 2-drops, but at least I get made leader turn 2. Now, it's not great that I have made leader. Like, oh my god, he's got like the perfect, because that's a commander. The 1/3 is a commander, so that is Storm. Oh my god, this is the most painful thing ever. I think this is his flaw. I think. I don't know. I think going full face is good. Like, it's turn 3 and I'm at 12 health. Luckily, just by the. Oh god, this was such a close match. The only reason I was even able to survive past the first few turns is because I top decked made leader and veteran lancer. Turn 4, I'm gonna be skating by the skin of my teeth because it's always great to evolve Floral Fencer, and now he's looking at a turn 5 where he can evolve. And what does Aggro Sword like to run turn 5? They like to run Albert, so I'm about to be in a fuck ton of trouble. The good thing he doesn't have it. He's got Novice Trooper, which is almost just as bad when it's getting buffed. Yeah, it's like a pseudo Albert. And then he's going to evolve and I'll be at like, what, 2 health? I don't know, 3, 4. Yeah, I'll be at 2 health. And this is where I fuck up. I mean, I mean to play Aurelia first, but then in my head, I'm trying to do the math and what's the most efficient trades, and oh my god, I fuck up so bad. I start trading, and then I play Aurelia when she's susceptible to spells. But in retrospect, the only reason it mattered, like, I don't care about her attack. The only reason it mattered was because I'm trying to play around Dance of Death, but I wasn't going to kill my Floral Fencer anyway. So Floral Fencer dies to Dance of Death, and so I figure um, I'm just praying he doesn't have Dance of Death here. Agrosaur definitely runs Dance of Death. So that was a ridiculously huge misplay. I think I deserve to lose because I misplayed there with Aurelia. But I don't, so I'm just praying he's bricking, and he sort of is. Now, turn 6, I could Alwitas and Rush Face, but I'm trying to play around Dance of Death as much as possible. So he did brick, but I'm at 2 health. So at any time he gets like another Novice Trooper or Albert, so I could Alwitas for the ward, but I have to play around Dance of Death. I know I have to play around Dance of Death. So I drop my thing. I would have evolved Floral, but Floral Fencer is already evolved. At this point, I'm going to be rushing as much damage as possible. That was a good play by him. You have to cycle at this point. Oh my god. Yeah, that's right. So I was at 2 health until I opted to play Healing Angel instead of Alwitas. The better play, because I play around Dance of Death. And of course, look what he gets. It's a turn late. Like, he could have gotten it last turn, but he drew Novice Trooper instead. And he got Dance of Death. So I just barely played around that. Again, I don't have lethal, so I have to play front guard and just pray he doesn't get his second Dance of Death. I'm just trying to rush him down as quickly as possible at this point, while still avoiding like Novice Trooper, because maybe he gets Novice Trooper or Albert. If I had played Albert this turn, he could have gone face. Alwitas wouldn't have been bad either, but I figure I have lethal next turn anyway, unless he does have Dance of Death, and that's it. That's the game. And that was the tiebreaker match. Super close, ridiculously close. And I had a huge misplay. That was completely my fault. And that was the end of the quarterfinals, so I move on to the semifinals, which is an even closer series. Like that series we just watched, ridiculously close final game. This one, absolutely can't get any closer. So we open up with a Daria Ditto. I do a ridiculously huge misplay midway through the game, and I think it cost me this game. But we'll just play it out. I do okay. Like, I have a shitty starting hand. You can't get much worse than that. That hand will burn out so fast, and like it's so bad. But I do a huge misplay because at this point, like, I mean, I've been playing for like 3 hours at this point, because the games don't go by nearly this quickly. I have to wait for rounds to finish. So I've been playing for like 3 hours, just intensely focusing on the matches, and my mind slips, and I make a critical error halfway through the game because I miscount. It's something basic as that. Again, really bad hand. I hate complaining about hands, but like, these are super bad hands unless you like top deck Ataria and somehow manage to spell booster. And I don't even have the cards to spell boost Daria. This is so bad. I think you just turn 2 Emmy. Turn 3 doesn't look great either. I mean, I could have Snipe. Maybe that's better. Snipe and then Emmy, and then I would have a turn 3 Ogler. But I don't like it because I burn my hand. I do end up getting a Daria at some point, and it turns out to be okay. Yeah, he's running a weird spell boosty type Daria variant. Because he played Sorcerer's Cache, which led me to think maybe he's a this probably wasn't the best play either. But I figure I'm rushing him down to some degree at this point. But I figure maybe he's like some. I thought he was maybe D shift, but no, he's definitely not D shift. He's tempo run. I think that was a horrible play. I don't believe that he had 5 cards in hand that he couldn't play. So I think that was really bad. Especially when I have a terribly non-threatening board. Okay, so my first evolution turn 5. I need to Levi and trade Levi and Snipe into the Dario. Perfect. I miscount though. I think that I can bounce my Levi. I think because I'm trying to lower the cost of Daria here too. I'm trying to end Oglars. I think I can play in my head. I think I can play Levi, bounce him, play Levi again, and then snipe. But that's 6 mana, or that's 7 mana. Gosh, I can't even remember. 2, 4, 5. Yeah, that would be 6 mana. And see, oh, and then I can't play Levi again to kill it, and I don't have an answer to 7 damage to face. Oh my god, it was painful. I deserve to lose for making that mistake. That was unforgivable. But I mean, even goofs like that happen to the best of us. I was kicking myself so hard for eating 7 damage to face and letting him build a board, because now it's going to be that much harder to clear it. Especially if he can oh, that was so bad. So now I'm like, I have to fucking kill that Daria now. I try to think if there's an efficient way, maybe I can trade there's no efficient way to do it. I have to trade Levi and Snipe. Um Yeah, I have to play Levi and Snipe. Literally the play I could have done last turn, but I opted for a card draw because I fucked up the math. And then I have to eat an Ogler to face. But at least I'm building momentum here. I'm getting a board I can work with, and coming back from this deficit. I put a little bit of early pressure on, so he's actually struggling to keep up with me. And I'm about to get like an overwhelming presence on board with Dario. But because I let him do 7 damage to face, he's got a lot of burn he can do on me as well. So now I did watch the replay, so like I have an idea of what he has in his hand. He actually is running a Dimension Shift variant. So he's got Dario with Dimension Shift, so it's one of the hybrids. I said he wasn't D-Shift earlier. I forgot. I only remembered when I remembered what he had in his hand at the end, and it'll become relevant later. So yeah, of course he clears my board, and nice. I top deck Snipe. Very efficient trade there. I opt to play the Golem as well because it's going to be a 1 mana Golem because it's going to boost Daria by 1. I guess it didn't boost it by 1, but I opt for it because I have 2 mana and I can play any minion that I draw, even Blade Mages. And I have another Daria, so I am rocking here. And I can evolve somebody. I'm pretty sure I'm going to evolve a 2/2 because I love to spread stats. I hate having stats allocated into one minion in case they Dance of Death it or evolve trade into it. So spreading stats is always wonderful. Sure, I open myself up to like Piercing Rune, but I'm always open to Piercing Rune, but I open myself to like pings like Magic Missile, but now he has to address this board. And since he's the D-Shift Daria variant, he can address it. He's got like Wind Blast, he's got Fiery Embrace, and an evolution point. So maybe he's got a Levi or something. And a Piercing Rune, which fucking sucks. Now I would have 7 more health here if I had played my Time Worn Mage Levi. I'd be at 12 health. It would just be horrible for him because I have Daria in hand. Yeah, so he can clear my whole board here. which is actually he's banking on the fact that I don't have enough burn to kill him next turn. So he's gonna go face actually and take me to 1 health. So he's got 1 card in hand right now. That one card is a dimension shift. So he's got 1 dimension shift in hand, and it costs 15 mana, so it's completely useless and will be absolutely useless for the rest of the game. But I mean, I don't know what he has, and I've got to clear this board regardless of what he has. Because I don't have enough burn, and I don't have any evolution points, so even if I get like 2 blade mages, which is highly unlikely, I mean I get 1, but I still can't burn him down. I've got 2, 4, 6 damage on board. Piercing Wound's too heavy. So I've got to clear board, trade almost everything into it. But then I'm threatening lethal next turn if he can't answer it. Because I have Piercing Rune in hand. And so I'm just praying he doesn't top deck something like Snipe or Magic Missiles. And there it is. He top decks Magic Missiles. I watched the tournament footage and he top decked Magic Missiles. It was ridiculous. For the 1 damage, for the win. I mean, he earned it though. I fucked up and misplayed. So that was game 1. He goes to him. Best of 3. Each of these matches are basically best of 3. It's Conquest. You have to win with both your decks. So I cue my sword because I don't know what his blood deck is. And I think sword is much safer to queue into blood than Daria. I actually like the Daria versus aggro blood, but I don't know what he's running. It ends up being like an aggro blood variant. I keep the 1 drop because it trades well into a lot of the aggro bloods. Like, I think they have a couple 2/1 drops, and then they have bats, so it trades well. Gambling Wrath's kind of annoying in turn 1 because I don't want to turn 2 into Made Leader. So I think I opt for a better turn 2 besides Made Leader, like Unica. Unica forces trades. So that was an interesting tech choice. It's going to do another 1 damage. So he's like hyper aggressive. The good thing is my sword hand is looking great. I've got turn 3 Healing Angel, turn. I thought I had Floral Fencer. Yeah, I do have Floral Fencer. Yeah, turn 4 Floral, turn 5. I'm not going to Levi turn 5. It'll be Aurelia, most likely. But yeah, my hand is looking bala. But he actually efficiently trades into that. Manages to keep his minion as well, so it's not looking good. I'm pretty confident because he doesn't have a Urius out yet, though. Yeah, Urius, a little late, but I mean, it's better that he killed my Unica last turn. If he played Urius, he wouldn't have been able to kill Unica. But now I get to turn 4 Evolve. This makes it a little bit tricky, and actually I don't want to give him 3 damage from Urius. If I have all Floral, that's horrible. I'll take 3 to face and kill 2 of them. I mean, I'll clear his board, but I'm going to take 3 to face. I'll go down to 12. If he's got bats, I'm going to get fucked over next turn. So take a slightly more unusual play. I'm like, hey, you know what? I've got 3 evolution points. I'm going to take this time to evolve Veteran Lancer. So he doesn't get burned out. I could have evolved Healing Angel, but I think that's a slightly worse play because it would have left one of the minions alive. Turn 5. I have a lot of options here. I could even start burning with the Levi's. He just trades into it to activate. He's going to set up an activation for his Vampire Vampiric Fortress and do a sizable amount of damage to me. But this is a perfect board for Aurelia, and he's pretty much screwed at this point. It's pretty much over. I have 9 health. It's going to be super hard to burn this down. And I've highly outvalued him. He's down to 1 card, or 2 now. He's down to 2 cards, and I've got 4 in hand, 5 in hand. He's got Bait. What can you do there? Just gonna whole soul it, and then maybe play like Floral Fencer. Not evolve it, and just. Oh yeah, Amelia is better. Amelia is better. Play Amelia. He's got 1 card in hand. And that's pretty much game. I mean, there's nothing you can do. He's looking for a top deck, but there's nothing you can even top deck. So I take game 2, and we go to a game 3. So this gives us both 1 win each. And now I have to beat him with my Daria deck. And he's got to beat me with his blood deck. Remember, this is the guy who beat me in game 1 by top decking a magic missile. It was ridiculous. I pretty handily win game 2, but game 3 is pretty intense. Don't have the best of hands either. I always complain about my Daria hands. Maybe I should just stop playing Daria. It's a sign from the side games gods that I need to stop with the Daria. All right, sorry about the interruption there, but let's get to it. Again, it opens with Ambling Wrath. At least I have a better idea of what he's running this game. Yeah, I think Conjure Golem's the slightly better play. No, Craig is, because he gives me turn 3 Ogler. And I want to be on curve as much as possible against this guy. Usually I save Craig's and Clark's for Daria, but like I have to play assuming I'm not going to get Daria at this point in time. Magic Missile was or a Snipe was a great top deck because it allows me to kill. I can actually play Insight, Snipe, and Ogler. Because anytime you have a 1 mana spell. Yeah, Snipe's great because it lets me kill Urias and summon Ogler. Develop my board. The problem is I'm going first, so he gets first Evo. And I don't have Daria in hand, so I'll be struggling here for a bit. And just note, these are the semifinals. So winner of this goes to the grand finals. Single elimination. So winner of this is guaranteed 2nd place or 1st place. Loser of this goes to fight for 3rd place. Well, that helps me kill Vate. I don't want to help him develop bats, especially if he doesn't have a Night Horde or anything in hand and has like a Vampiric Fortress. He gets a lot of value out of Vampiric Fortress if he starts developing bats for free. It's kind of slow right now. My hand is about to brick so hard. Literally gonna have almost nothing to play next turn. After next turn, I've got a couple of magic conjure golems, and that's it. It's a pretty efficient trade for me, though. At least I top deck a Levi. I mean, horrible, but it gives me something to. Yeah, I think I opt not to play anything this turn. Oh, I guess I need a conjure golem. I figure I have to develop something, and I can evolve Levi next turn. So again, I'm about to brick. I mean, I'll have 6 mana, and then I'll have 3, 4, 5. I have 7 to play with in hand. So unless I get like a Daria, it's gonna be really bad. Yep, that's not good. I mean, Snipe isn't great. It's gonna help me break, but it's not the worst thing I could have drawn either. Actually, it is among the worst things I could have drawn. I guess Blade Mage wouldn't have been great either. I think I have to opt to kill the bat. For the reasons mentioned earlier. If he starts getting value out of a Vampiric Fortress, I'm completely screwed. And of course, I have both my minions have 3 health, so I play right into a Demonic Storm. Well, good on him though. I mean, he's keeping up the pressure. He's doing exactly what he needs to. It's taking me to 10 health. He's got 2 Evos. Maybe he's got a Implanter in hand or something. Trying to develop as big of a ward as possible. This is going to take him to 1 health. Because I'll evolve, do 4 to face, and then he's got 1 last proc on his flower bed. I think that's what they call it. It's called flower bed amulet. So at the end of this turn, well, now he heals up for 2. Yeah, he's got a Razor Claw in hand. Yeah, so he's going to go down to 2, and then he's going to go down to 1. He's got to evolve into it. He actually misplayed there. He should have used the Razor Claw on the... I forget what he did. Oh yeah, that's horrible. I don't have anything I can play, and I'm just hoping. I mean, he can trade into me, but it's a top deck battle right now, and all I need is one damage. I've used up a lot of snipes, but I haven't used any magic missiles. So I have magic missiles. I've got 3 piercing runes and one dance of death because I already used my other burn. And I top decked the magic missile. Oh man, it was crazy for that 1 damage. I mean, he doesn't have lethal on board, but there's so many ways he could have gotten lethal. The chat is, or the stream couldn't see my perspective, and so I was making them wait, building up the momentum like I had just bricked. And so the stream freaked out, and the 2 casters were just like, "Oh my god!" And he made us wait. He made us wait to play it. My opponent actually thought my opponent thought I had bricked and that it was over and that he won, but that was super intense. That was the tiebreaker match. He had killed me in game 1 with a top deck magic missile, and it was just poetic justice that I could top deck a magic missile for lethal in the semifinals of the TCG tournament. Now we move on to the grand finals where my winning streak has finally come to an end. I get manhandled in the grand finals. I always struggle against heavy control decks. This guy's running in Nep Shadow and handily destroys me, but the point of this video is to review my mistakes, maybe see where I could have improved. The problem is I bring decks that just don't do well. They're like, even my sword deck is not suited for like long battles at the end. Like, I don't run Prince of Darkness in this variant or Bahamut or anything. And so once he develops like a Mordecai, it's completely over. Like, he wins all value trades. Let's see. Maybe Whole Soul Swing would have been good here, but I decide I'll hold it for something more valuable, like a Lurching Corpse I want to get rid of. But obviously I let him trade the 1/2 into my 1/1 pretty efficiently. Not great for me, but I mean, it's not the worst either. That 1/4 is super annoying. Yeah, my options are not great here. I just opt to play the Amelia because sure, Amelia is going to die. Like, I'm confident she's going to die turn 4. But it gives me a Jelt, and Jelt will flexibly fill in awkward gaps like turn 7 plays. Since I don't have a front guard, I need a turn 7 play. And so I could do something like Aurelia and Jelt, or Levi and Jelt, because, I mean, they're both commanders and he can benefit from them. Super awkward board for me to deal with, though, even if he doesn't kill anything. Like, Amelia doesn't trade well into the 1/4, so I'll have to blow an evolution to clear that if I want to start going face. Yeah, this guy runs. It's also probably a good thing I didn't open with Daria. Because Daria, like, my Daria deck has not performed well ever against Nephthys Shadow decks. This is super awkward board. I don't even want to evolve anything because then, like, I play into, like, Lurching Corpse. Maybe he's got Necro Assassin. Maybe he's got Erd. So I just say, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to double Whole Soul Swing you. Sure, I don't get value out of the second Whole Soul Swing, but this saves me an evolution point and gives you an extra shitty target for your Lurching Corpse. Lurching Corpse is random, so maybe he kills a 1-drop, a 1/1 instead of maybe like an evolved Aurelia. Yeah, the stream chat was. I reviewed the VODs after the tournament that they streamed. This is obviously streamed, it's the grand finals. Everyone was saying that everyone in chat's like trying to backseat game and yell, Aurelia, turn 5 Aurelia. And it's like, no, I mean, it dies to Lurching Corpse. Lurching Corpse just walks right into it and it kills either Amelia, an evolved Aurelia, or it kills Amelia. And that's just horrible. Again, I'm spreading my stats out because I know Lurching Corpse can trade into my 2/3, and I want to rush down face now. Like, against control, Shadow, you want to rush face if you don't have a way to deal with like late game Mordecai's. And so yeah, the reason I evolved my 1/1 because I want to spread stats. I want my 3/3. I don't want yeah, see if I evolved my my 3/2 with Storm into like a 5/4, Lurching Corpse would have just killed that. But he basically, yeah, he's gonna clear this board, but I'm still doing a sizable amount of rush down damage to him right now. And he's getting a beefy board here too if I don't address it because I do want to rush his face. Particularly, I want to rush him before he gets to like a Kawaii situation where he can play Kawaii and heal up. Not a great turn for me because I really want to Albert, but I also don't want to be off curve. And obviously, I cannot Aurelia. Aurelia is going to immediately die to Lurching Corpse. That's like the perfect trade. So I think I do opt to put out a ward for better or for worse. Maybe not putting a ward was a better play. I mean, he'd do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if he evolves. He'd do 9, taking me down to 7 health, but I'd take him down to 7 health if I just go face. And then it would be my turn. Huh. 5. Yeah, I mean, he would have to clear my Albert. Otherwise, I win with Albert. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about it. It's a moot point, though. he has that, which is super frustrating to deal with, especially with no Cyclone Blade in sight. Just a really bad situation for me. I mean, I think Aurelia plus Blitz Lancer is the way to go. I think it's considering a couple different plays, like maybe evolving Floral Fencer and playing a Blitz Lancer, because that also gets rid of 2 and gives me a little bit more beef on board. It's just not a great situation to be in. In retrospect, I think it may have been better to evolve the Blitz Lancer. Sure, Blitz has Rush, but Blitz would have been able to survive and kill 2. And Aurelia still takes 2 of them anyway. Like, Aurelia's at 6 health anyway, so it's going to be another 5-2. They trade 2, but I would have gotten 1 more kill out of an evolved Blitz Lancer next turn. So I don't know. Maybe evolving Blitz was better, but I opted to evolve Aurelia. Yeah, I mean, I know we're taking very slow turns here, but I mean, it's the grand finals of the tournament. I mean, this is round 7 of the entire tournament, and so we don't want to make any silly mistakes. I mean, I misplayed a lot in the couple games preceding this, but honestly, there's very little I could have done differently in these games. In the final sets. He's got Nephthys. He's looking for Mordecai or Kawei, or both, obviously. He gets Baylor and Mordecai and Unica. Unica's shit, obviously, but that clears my board, and that's it. I'm able to like put out a board that he potentially couldn't clear necessarily. I mean, he could clear the board, but it potentially saves me for 1 more turn. And I mean, I realize it's basically over, but it's grand finals. You play it out. I mean, who knows what happens? He ends up having lethal anyways. I don't know why it takes so long to realize it. You just play any minion at this point, evolve it into Aurelia, and trade the 2/3 into it, and then you have 5/5 to go phase. Literally any minion, doesn't matter what. I mean, even lurching corpse even is lethal. The only thing that's not lethal is there you go. 3 AoE. All right, and now we did not get to see like deck lists. We don't have deck lists available to us in this tournament, so I'm not quite sure what his Daria is, what his Runecraft is. I go into this mulliganing assuming it's full on Daria tempo rune. Turns out it's full on D shift, which is pretty really bad for Control Sword, to be honest. I mean, people think sometimes like Control Sword is good against D shift. I don't share that sentiment because so I don't know what he is yet. I see arrows, but tempo rune has D shift has a ridiculous amount of board clear. And the worst part is that they card draw, they kaleidoscope with it. They spell boost all the cards in their hands. So I saw a Kaleidoscope, and I still don't know what he is, so I play Healing Angel because I mean, Tempo Rune also runs Kaleidoscope. It's hard to tell what they are. And then he plays Wind Blast. I'm 99% sure he's D-Shift now. I opt to not play a turn 4 because my turn 4 play would be double Unigas. Not great value anyway. And then it would give him an opportunity to spell boost his cards with Kaleidoscopes, with if he has I guess he could have Fiery Embrace ready. He's been playing on curve. And it would even give him something to evolve into. Maybe he's got Levi. He could evolve Levi and trade into my Unica, and then burn Unica, the second Unica, with his sorcerer, Crimson Sorcery. So I don't want to give him something to evolve into. Now it's turn 5, and I have to play something. If you play anything, play something that's not easy to trade into, and wards are always great. And he's not going to flood the board with minions unless he's got like a combo ready. So I've never, in this match, you're almost never going to get maximum value from Aurelia with a immunity to spells. So I have to play Aurelia. Gives me a ward, so I mean, obviously he doesn't have the combo now, but it develops a ward. And maybe I can develop another ward next turn. But now he can't even like trade into this great with Levi. I guess he kind of could with like Levi plus sorcery, but then he like uses an evolution to just clear a pretty meh ward at this point that I have not wasted an evolution point on. But yeah, there were so many reasons not to play anything on turn 4. I know it looks slow, but he would have evolved Merlin and efficiently traded into one of the things, or evolved a Levi. Like, there's so many different things he could have done. It's pretty frustrating that he left Merlin with 1 health. But, and I do have to clear that. That's super important. Merlin spell boosts the cards in your hand when she attacks, not when she is attacked. In retrospect, I should have played a Unica here to save another Blitz Lancer. It ends up not mattering. And also, I could evolve her, but I don't think it's important. I have 2 evolution points. I need maximum value out of them. He's got Merlin for days. You know he's just got ridiculous amounts of dimension shifts in hand by this point. Not much to comment on. He's taking a ridiculous amount of time to complete his turn. So, again, this is where the second Blitz Lancer would be nice because I could Blitz Lancer into the 4-1, and I don't have that now, so I've got to opt for something else. I think I opt for a. I think I do evolve Aurelia at this point and trade Aurelia into the Merlin and play Unica. Just because I realize, he's been spell boosting like crazy. I need some kind of ward up. Sure, it dies to Fiery Embrace or Wind Blast, but I mean, I need something up, some form of protection. And if he can't do 20 damage this turn, or series of turns, depending on how many dimension shifts he has, then Unica will be pretty okay. Again, not much to comment on. I mean, guess he's doing the math, but really it shouldn't be that complicated when you're playing Dimension Shift. I mean, he's played 2 Merlins, evolved both of them, so he's gotten 4 spell boostable cards, spells from his deck, and he's boosted his hand like crazy. I guess he's trying to identify if he's got lethal this turn or next turn. Again, my options aren't great here. I figure the combo's coming like now. I'm pretty sure the combo's coming this turn. End up playing another ward. Stakes him down to 13. So I'm actually, I realize it's a really bad situation for me, but I have turn 9 Albert with 1 Evo point left. And so I'm thinking, if I could just eke this out, if I could eke out one more decent turn, I could turn 9 Albert for 10 damage to face. And then he's at 3 health. And so I need to keep 3 damage on this board. So if he clears the 5/4 but leaves the both of the two attacks, that's lethal next turn for me. Or if he clears both of the 2 attacks but leaves the 5/4, that's lethal for me. But I also know that he is anticipating a turn 9 Albert, because that's like the most dangerous thing he could play around, and at this point in the grand finals, you'd be pretty dumb not to play around at turn 9 Albert. So there goes one of my 2/2s. Gosh, just so, I don't know, maybe I play way too fast, but it's just so frustrating when people take this long. Like, for every turn, I can understand if you're like setting up your final turns, but he's been playing like this since like turn 3. And there goes my 5/4. So I am one off of lethal. So I figure, okay, so what happens if I play T9 Albert? If I play T9 Albert, I take him to 1 health and evolve it. I take him to 1 health, but then I have a very vulnerable board, and I don't get rid of the 2-drop. And so I'm like, and he's going to clear my board. If he doesn't have lethal, he'll clear my board, 100%. And then how am I going to do the extra 1 damage to face? So I figure, okay, I'll delay turn 9 Albert by 1 turn to just sort of like take him down, to chip away at him. Now he has to clear the entire board again. And I don't think it matters at this point. I think this is the turn he has lethal. I could be wrong though. But yeah, I don't think there's a point I'm playing Albert at this point of the game unless I do have lethal, because he's gonna clear it. So unless I can do 2 from hand, the only reason to play it now would be to pray that my next top deck would be a like Novice Trooper, because I can't play Albert and Novice Trooper on the same turn, like for the maximum damage. It ends up being irrelevant. I mean, he's spell boosted the cards in his hand a ridiculous amount of time. Like, he's got way more than lethal. He's got already used 1 dimension shift, 2 dimension shifts. So he's going to be able to do at least 18 damage right there. That's his 3rd dimension shift. Even if it's just his 2nd, I mean, all he needs is 1 monster. And that's game. But got 2nd place. I hope my thought process throughout this tournament was helpful, and if you have any questions, feel free to post. Again, I'll link the 2 deck lists. I'll also link my Tempo Rune tutorial guide, and this is mostly for my own self-analysis. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.